getting there. We haven't had much. I mean, they're in finals, so we're kind of working around that. But anytime we go somewhere and we don't play to our expectations, they usually respond pretty good, and they've shown that. So I'm expecting good things.
Jesse?
And Patty, we've asked you so much about Ella the last few weeks, but for her, the way she's really regained her footing offensively the last couple of weeks, just as she's been dealing with the injury over these last few weeks, going through that process, what have you seen from her as she's kind of gutted that out?
I think she's just kind of melted into it a little bit. I know that it's hurting her, and there's nothing you can do to make it feel better except keeping her off of it. So there are times when she'll take, you need to run for me. I'll ask her, because she still runs pretty well. Mm-hmm. So I'll ask her if she wants me to run for her, and usually she says no, but later in the game she might ask for it. She knows she's trying to help this team the best way she can. So she is going into the training room, doing all the things she has to do, doing the right thing to help stay on the field.
She talked a little bit about not wanting to put too much pressure on herself and learning to kind of find that comfort again at the plate. Just as that's happened over the last couple of weeks, just how encouraging has that been? And just how big is that for this offense?
It's big for us. You can watch her swing and tell when it's her swing and when it isn't. And her swing is back. It definitely is. So I think that brings a lot of comfort to this team because we need her bat in the lineup. So she's been swinging well.
Thank you. Ciao.
Where you at with the pitching and everything going in, just as a staff, comfortable with where you're at going into tournament time?
Yeah, I mean, we've had our ups and downs. And I'll tell you, we're voting for SEC all-conference teams. And you're looking at just all the pitchers up and down the line of all the teams, and everybody's struggling in their own ways, different programs. So it's all about, they have the stuff. Can they get their feet grounded? Can they exhale? Can they leave all the ugly feelings and doubt and all the things that are going on internally aside and go after it? Audrey Lowry was a good example of that on Saturday when we brought her in. She was a good example of not having had that, wasn't able to figure that out, and really got there and showed off well. Kirsten Deal is starting to feel that as we're going through practice. So you can't fault them for wanting to be so good, but we're on a different track than we were with this team the last 4 years. They're different. They're made different. They do things different. They're still learning to this day. So we're learning how to exhale and just play with freedom. And some of them are just so locked into the name not to cross their chest and wanting to make the fans happy, make the school happy, make the program happy. But it's not what we're doing it for, really. So we've had conversations about that. And I think we feel like we're going into the tournament like an underdog. And it kind of feels nice to be on that side of things. So I'm looking forward to this.
How awkward was Friday, or was it for you guys? Just because talking to JT earlier today, usually Bedlam is kind of decisive as far as the conference race goes, and to step onto the field on Friday and already have won the was that weird?
I did not like that. I did not like that. And the women from ESPN are making a big deal, and I'm pretending like I'm not hearing them. Like, what? Because it's just easy. And I'm not saying our team did this, because Florida was ready. There's a lot of reasons why Florida has been waiting for us. One, because of the way we ended their season last year. Two, they got a lot of very good seniors. And three, they had an absolutely packed house. So they were waiting. They were waiting for this. We knew it, but it wasn't like, okay, we know it, so let's not care. We were almost caring too much. And personally, I really wanted to get one more of those games So we could say we won the series, and I don't know, but why do I feel that way? We won it. We outright won it. If we didn't outright win it, they wouldn't have announced it. So I'm like, what am I stressing over? I just like we had to prove something more. And you can look at us losing a few series, but you could also, what you're not talking about is the big time series that we've swept that happened early in the season. So I'm just so mad at myself for having that mentality of pretending like we don't hear it or we don't know it. So we came back here and we had a big celebration over it because we should.
Yes.
Patty, you talked about Audrey within the pitching staff. How big do you think those last 2 games at Florida were just for kind of building her confidence up a little bit?
I think it was important for her to get back on the mound and feel it. So I think Katie's going to get there as well. And I also feel that Bella Smith has it, but there's a certain time where you have to stop it before it can get out of hand. Because it felt like Florida scored 6 runs in 2 minutes. I mean, it just happened so fast and you just couldn't stop it. So we learned a lot as coaches as to what we need to do a better job of. And that's what's so unique about this team is they are so new that we still, as we're into our final days, we're still learning about how to manage some of this.
Thanks. Jackson.
Coach, what kind of went into the mindset to throw Sam Landry again after you already had the title pretty much summed up and just wanting to get that final win, keep her in rhythm? Is that what's that?
Yeah, I mean, she needs to throw against Florida. She needs these big games. She needs to feel the pressure. I felt her succumb to some of that on Saturday. And she gets so mad at herself when she just doesn't, like that overthrow at second base. We had a very good opportunity for a double play. Those little plays that like if we would have made it, this could have been different. So she can't let go of that. I'm like, it's over. Let it go and learn from it. But that's the mentality. They're competitors. They want to win, and they sometimes get lost in not concentrating and thinking about other things that have been bothering them. Maybe a pitch they didn't throw well, or an overthrow, or a strikeout, or what have you. There's something that just creeps in on them. And we just really talked about going into the weekend, and we got nothing to lose. Let's just go. Let's see what it looks like just to play free and carefree and not get caught up in outcomes and at-bats and so forth. So I think that's what we want to keep feeding Sam is those big moment opportunities.
Patty, could you take like a 20,000 foot view of pitching? And, obviously it's transitioned over the years, but hearing you talk made me think, we've seen some of the best arms in the game. They're hitting again. And I don't know, is the overall just sort of what you see out of pitchers at the college level, coming into the college level, has it changed over the last few years at all?
I don't think so, but I think hitting plans have gotten better.
Yeah.
And I think hitters have gotten stronger. And if you look at some of the numbers, some of the offensive numbers, there's a select few in the SEC, maybe 15, that have batting averages that are upper 3s into 400s. There's some very good hitters that are hitting 250 and below. And you're going, whoa, what? Really? So it's kind of a trade-off. I mean, some pitchers are really causing fits, and some teams are figuring out how to crack the code on some pitchers. So I think it kind of works both ways. But the pitching numbers were kind of shocking to me to see ERAs, a lot of them in the 4s and 5s.
Is that just the reality that the game has transitioned and now the numbers are going to look a little different?
Potentially, but in the SEC, it's certainly it's another level of toughness in there. So yeah, I don't know. It's a hard time to be a pitcher with such good hitting, to be honest.
Cool.
Patty, how important is this week for seeding? How comfortable are you guys going into this? Do you even think about it? And then also, how helpful will this format be this week as it kind of rivals a regional and beyond?
Mm-hmm. No, we talked about that. It's very much set up like a mini College World Series, which is nice to feel. It's nice to kind of feel in another away crowd, just for us to continue to learn from it. I am going to take it serious, but not too serious, because that doesn't work well. And whatever we do, I mean, we're going to be in the top 8. I feel very confident of that. I trust that we're going to be in the top 5. You can't win the SEC and not be, in my opinion. So we're going to go in and work our hardest to be our best, to lend us into hosting at home. So I do feel if we have a good SEC tournament, that might secure us to move up just one spot or so, which would make a difference.
Patty, a little off the beaten path here. What's the season been like for Sophia Boyd?
Well, she's not here on campus. She went back home, and that's something that I don't have the privilege to talk about. It's more of a personal situation. So she did not finish the season out with us.
And then just usually this time of year it's time to go to Devon Park. Devon Park and then Norman, back and forth. I could say exciting to go to Athens,
yes.
But I was just the newness factor to it.
It's the newness factor, but it's also a wow factor. It's no offense at all, but it's just and it's one thing, playing at Devon Park is a big advantage for anybody that gets that opportunity. If you're going to get to the World Series, you get to feel it. But the cameras are everywhere. ESPN is showing this round the clock. If you love SEC softball, then you're in for a treat, because you get to watch every game on their network. I think that's a big deal. And then some of the best commentators, best teams, best everything, best players at former players of the games in the past are there. So it's exciting. It feels different, and there is a point system where you get to go in, and their suite where they have like their gift suite. So they are at another level of excitement of figuring out how they're using their points for what gifts, but it's pretty legit. Pretty legit.
Just a couple more to Jesse.
Patty, you kind of mentioned this team is still new, figuring things out. When you head into an SEC tournament where there's a lot of different scenarios of what teams you play, does that give you flexibility in terms of lineups or players playing which positions? Do you like to go in kind of rigid, or do you, based on the day or the opponent, you can be flexible? I know it's kind of a broad question, but how do you just approach that overall?
Yeah, there's some players that I really am wanting to see more. It's just tough, because you want to give somebody an at-bat, but you also want the player that you're giving up the at-bat for to get an opportunity to prove themselves. So it's that kind of double edge. I like getting Tia Malloy in, and sometimes the pitcher is not a great matchup for her, but she's got to learn. Sydney Barker is someone that needs to see those at-bats. Maya Bland is a matchup piece that can be dangerous when it's the right matchup. So we're not afraid to do those types of things. But I don't know if I'm understanding your question right, but we're going there to win. Like we're trying to walk away with another trophy. That's kind of our mentality, but with an underdog tone to it.
Thank you.
Jeff and Jenny.
Just building off what Ginny was kind of asked about earlier with pitchers, how hard is it for an experienced pitcher now with so much film and game planning to build experience so you feel good about that year over year, but then they've been game planned to death every summer? Like, how hard is it to balance that and continue to feel like they're improving?
It's hard. It's very hard, because the hitting coaches there's so much more information now that you can really get a good understanding of patterns and pitches and breaks and when they throw them, how hard they throw them. You've got all the information, so there's nowhere to hide. You just have to throw your stuff pretty elitely and keep hitters off balance, and that's up to the pitcher and the pitching coach. But it's different. It's showing in the numbers everywhere. You've got Pickens throwing 78 miles an hour, and she's still getting hit. So you practice, you plan, you put the machine up on 80 and say, hit this. So it's tough. It's tough to be a pitcher these days. I think, I don't know if MLB's feeling this or not, but pitchers have still been dominating hitters. So I don't know what's the difference, but I definitely am feeling that hitters are improving.
All right, Jenny.
Hey, I know that the SEC tournament's slated out for the home stadiums from here to, I don't know, 29 or something. As we learned in the pandemic, things can be changed pretty quickly. Is there any talk among SEC coaches to maybe try to use Devon Park for this tournament? Have you heard anything about that?
Absolutely not. No shot. They're already complaining that we're playing there in the first place for the World Series. But it's a big deal for campuses to get this opportunity. I think our opportunity, I will be long, long gone by then. So hopefully I'll still be alive to see it, witness it.
What are you, 34? 2034?
It's 2030 something, yeah.
Okay.
So to me and to all of you sitting here, Devon Park makes sense, but not to them. So, there is an excitement for sure. You can feel it about different locations, and you can feel that buzz.
Thanks, guys.